Hello everybody. Welcome to twitch.tv/the Onyx Path. Sorry, I had my mic turned off from some previous work I was doing in OBS. My bad. Welcome. It has been a month's time since we have gathered for our Mage the Awakening tale, The Point of No Retreat, and we are returning now to do so, and I will be handing the reins over to our glorious storyteller, Tom Murr. But first, before I do want to let you know that Exalted Exigence has dropped over at Drive-Thru RPG. It is available in POD and PDF. Go snag you up a copy if you've not yet done so. It's the latest splat book for Exalted 3rd Edition and full of wonderful adventures. Also would like to take time to remind you to, if you've not yet done so yet, head over to our At the Gates. Come on, behave yourself. Our At the Gates backer kit. We have been raising funds now for just over a week, and we've unlocked, I think, 4 or 5 stretch goals at this point. We're nearly 200% of the goal, which is awesome to see. People are digging what they're seeing so far. So if you haven't checked it out yet, At the Gates is a JRPG inspired tabletop game using StoryPath Ultra. If you hit the top link in our link tree, it'll take you right there, and you can go ahead and get yourself involved for as little as $5 pledge. I think you can get access to the manuscript. Take a look and see if it's the kind of game you want to support. If it is, then you can increase your pledge, get yourself a cool or a cool traditionally printed copy. Get yourself on board for the stretch goals. Lots of fun stuff. Lots of amazing items, and we still have about 3 weeks left to go in that. Now that I have paid our bills, I will hand the floor off to Tom. Tom, the show is yours.
Thank you. Hello, we are back. I'm waving at you. You can't see me. That's all right. Man, I envy those people who are just now starting to watch our VODs because they won't notice the hiatus on which we have been. And I promise you, we will jump in with the same energy that we left last episode. I am also a liar. So, um, no, yeah. What happened, Tom? What happened? Can you tell me? Yes, yes, and I shall. Just to bring all of us back to speed, we are playing Mage: The Awakening 2nd Edition. And at the beginning, I promised stuff from the Tome of Pentacles, and it has been with our players since session 1, these storylines, but only a few have very, very carefully stretched out their tendrils and tentacles and unwrapped our story and our heroes. So I am sure at least a few of our audience members over on YouTube have picked up a few of the clues, but today we gonna encounter more of them. So, Tome of Pentacle content coming in. Okay, our 4 heroes who will have the opportunity to introduce themselves in a minute or 5 are all um, em employees of the wonderful, brilliant, awesome, and ever-shining Helix Inc., a multinational, high-ranking company for personal healthcare and cosmetics and just everything you need to become a whole person. And who wouldn't want to be this? All 4 of them are also on a company retreat somewhere in the middle European mountains in a wonderful, beautiful, breathtaking castle. And all of them awakened to magehood on the first day there. And then the next thing they realized is that they are more or less imprisoned in this castle with the other 300 and so employees of Felix Inc. And that there are strange things going on. Um, they are not the only mages on the plane, and they are not sure they can trust anyone here. Um, there is an ex-girlfriend and a boss who is definitely not a mage, who might be helpful or not. We will see how this plays out. There are family members who are suddenly part of the company and not intruding on any personal space whatsoever, and or there are people who have been long-time adversaries in the philosophical and scientific dispute, which are apparently very knowledgeable and happy to share mages who may tutor one of our heroes as a prodigy. And well, there's still so much more going on. Um, but right now, our heroes decided to go into the catacombs below the castle because even further down there is something we have called the core, a massive power source, which seems to be the goal of some of the other mages, like HR person Holly Patterson, who is more or less threatening the characters to behave and learn how to be mages before doing anything stupid. Um, and is a very, very awesome and kind and wonderful person, I can tell you. So these people seemingly want to get to the core, and um, they're laying siege from within the castle to the core. And there seems to be some opposition. And our heroes are discovering the catacombs and have found a very, very special room. But before I tell you what's going on in this room, we need to know who our heroes are. And I shall take the order uh, in no particular order and start with Travis. Hello, Travis. Who are
Hello,
you going to
Tom.
play?
My name is Travis. My pronouns are he and they. I will be playing Nancy, whose pronouns are she and her. Nancy is a graphic designer who is uh, at the start of this vacation was somewhat standoffish and cold and um, cranky, and has gone past that. I think into just wonder and fear and desperate desire to escape, which has been a fun journey. So that's me, and that's who I'm playing.
Thank you. Then the next one is the ever fabulous Ipsy. Hello, Ipsy. Who are you going to play tonight?
I will be playing the mysterious Judith Lee. She is a woman who sees the world in black and white and has started recently introducing color to her life in various unorthodox ways, including knitting,
Yes.
uh, and reconnecting with an old flame, and then doing that again in a very different way. Uh, so yeah, it's been a wild ride for Judith, and she is not quite sure where this is going, but she's going to see it through.
Glad to hear this. Thank you.
Hmm?
So the next one is the brilliant Ren. Hello, Ren. Who are you going to play tonight?
Hello. My name is Ren. I'm going to be playing once again Dr. Brian Gilbert, uh, math teacher, theologian, and more self-described titles. And once again, he will be doing stuff that he should absolutely not be doing, but he has seen the word and he will follow it. And I hope I will survive the session.
This would be great, wouldn't it? Okay. And then the always most colorful and splendid Josie. Hello, Josie. Who are you gonna play tonight?
Hi, I'm Josie, they, them, and I'm going to be playing Ellie, who has been described by our dear story guide as the information goblin and I will gremlin, and I will never I will take that title for her forever. And she's gone from this little archive goblin that did not see a speck of sunlight a day to being thrusted into the middle of this. And what about just getting out and trying to not think too much about that prophecy about me stabbing people in the back and getting things and turning super evil? Please, that would be really nice. Thank you. Thank you. I want my servers back.
If you only were a fate mage who could change fate. Wait. Okay, brilliant. This is the moment I realized that I don't have music in my ear. Okay, I need to change this in a second. Good. Let me take you away down deep into this rocky mountain, into a place that can't be seen by sunlight or actually any other means of seeing. It is a place you have to travel to. It is unperceivable from the outside. The four of you haven't noticed this, but it is very well hidden. Hidden behind several layers of defenses which have been broken by the point of your arrival. You are standing in the ruins of a beautiful, beautiful place carved from the stone. Its walls and ceiling have been covered in letters and runes in all kinds of different languages. And there has been a statue in the center of the room. Some stone benches or blocks to sit down and rest and to take in the entire place have been here as well. But in its current state, many of the words and sigils on the walls are broken. The statue is only half. Some of it has melted across the ground. You can see one of its arms sticking out of the wall. And you are very aware from the spell that you just casted that this place has seen battle. You've seen two groups of people fighting each other. Hooded cultist-like people coming from the path that you have also taken, so from the surface. Those whose dealings you have witnessed in rooms prior to this one. And then there were the people, two women clad in red, who defended this place. And one of them managed to leave it, whilst the other sacrificed herself to let her go and sank into the fluid stone beneath her as a vicious attack hit her. You were just recuperating from these impressions from the past, as each of you came back into contact with your real surroundings. And all of you noticed there is a certain disconnect. There's this feeling of not entirely belonging, of well, the air that you are breathing, the torch that you are touching, the ground on which you're walking is supposed to be breathed in, touched, or walked by somebody else, and you're trespassing. And this can be a very unsettling feeling. Now you are standing in this room. And one detail from your vision comes back to you. The woman who left, who made it out of here, she did something. She did something to the runes on the wall that made her disappear. This might be your key for venturing forth.
Were we able to get
yeah.
like a clear vision of like her movements or of what she had done to trigger that release?
Do you go over to the wall where these runes have been? Yes, no?
Oh, do I? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I didn't realize you were asking me a question. I thought you were narrating.
Okay.
Yeah. I will absolutely go over to the wall where the runes were.
Um, the words are covering the entire wall, with a few exceptions where other stones have hit the wall and crushed some of the sigils or removed a few of them, deep scratches, and even though that you remember the motions that she did, the stone, the words are still broken.
Did I see them well enough that I could recreate them?
I think so, yes.
I'll turn to the group and I'll say, I don't suppose any of you has, I don't know, some mortar.
Somewhat.
Mortar to plug the holes in this wall.
No.
You're not
I was
carrying.
being sarcastic. I know you don't have any mortar.
Dr. Gilbert is gonna start weaving his hands together to cast platonic form and to conjure out of nothing a chisel, specially made to carve out rock.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like as a spell does it, it just creates a magical object out of nothing, purely because he wants to recreate all the runes in the wall. And he will have to carve out the wall entirely as a blank slate to make that happen, and he will do so. But the things he saw in the flashback, he needs to recreate it.
Does this trigger any responses by Brian's companions?
Works too, I guess.
Staring at the both of them while not understanding sarcasm and also a general feeling of what the fuck.
Okay. Where do you start, Brian? Do you start with the location that Nancy deems important, or do you start someplace else?
We'll start at the places that I saw in the vision earlier that were changed to make everything happen. Normally, I should have remembered them somehow, but I can roll for it. And I'm just going to try to recreate it as it was originally, so we can then alter it as it was in the vision.
Mm-hmm. I think you actually need to carve out a few portions of the wall to, as you said, create a new slate. And it is less about remembering the right signs. It is more, I think you noticed this as you travel back in time as well. This place has a magnetic effect on a mage's mind. You remember that this place might have triggered an awakening by you just entering and perceiving it. So there is a certain danger of being drawn into the patterns, into the weave of the sigils in the room. And I need you to basically roll me roll me a resolve and composure to not lose yourself.
Oh no. There we go.
But that's looking good to me.
I've handled a class of very, very naughty students. I can stay composed with a few rules.
Yes. And still the lure is there. It's still speaking to you, telling you to complete it entirely. Spend all your time to bring it back to perfection.
Patterns will always do that to me, but they have to know that I'm the one creating them and recreating them.
Yes. I imagine that Brian kind of falls into a trance as he is working.
Mhm.
So the others can see him work, and at some point, Nancy is pretty sure he has done the important segment.
Yeah. I will wait for him to finish. I'm not gonna like try to like work over his shoulder or anything, but I will say I think I can replicate those runes. How were they originally inscribed on the wall? Were they carved? Were they painted? Were they?
They have been carved.
I think I can replicate those. But I'll probably need your chisel when you're done.
Could you draw it out on the wall and I will chisel where you have
Oh, hey,
drawn it?
teamwork makes the dream work. Do I have anything on me that I could use to draw an outline of these?
I think.
I give you my piece of chalk.
Oh, that's also great. Yes.
That works.
But the thing is, as I give it to you, you feel the reluctance in handing it over, and you also feel like a great magical power from it.
Say, don't worry, I'll take good care of it. And I will start drawing those runes.
In the meanwhile, if that's okay,
Mm-hmm.
since we're a bit exposed and we're just standing still here doing things, I don't think Ellie is feeling very, very safe. So I'd like to do another sweep with heightened senses, which is a life 1 spell, to see if I can find anything or anyone. I would say if that's possible as for criteria, excluding all of us. If that's possible to know, just filter out and receive the signal of any sapient creature. Anything that has a consciousness, anything that can act and react and is not just an animal.
Okay. Please roll me a life and gnosis roll.
That is a it's a practice spell for me.
Okay.
What does that add again? I kind of forgot.
Welcome to Tom making up the rules again, because believe it or not, I forgot all of them, and I've been running once again so many different games just this week already. That they are kind of dip 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 dip.
Gives you an exceptional success with 3 successes instead of 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would need to have 3 successes. And that means all my dice, because I am not very good at life. So let's see what I get. That is 1 success still, but only 1.
Okay. You send out the spell. And you need to blend out the working of Nancy and Brian. And then you listen. Listen to the sounds and vibrations in the ground around you. And you notice that something has changed in comparison to the last time that you cast the spell. You can't reach this far anymore. Now there's a wall, a barrier in place that won't let you through. You can't find any sentient life around you except the 4 of you.
And except the very unsuspiciously magically walled thing that makes its presence known by being undetectable.
Yes.
So it's the absence of something that makes me notice that there's something there.
Probably.
Okay. Not to raise any suspicion, Ellie says, but I did another radar sweep for sentient beings and something changed. And something is trying to keep me out. Or at least my magic out, and I can imagine that goes for all of us.
Well, yeah, that's unusual. Let me see what I can do about that.
I want to remind everybody about this. Judy casted a spell at the end of last session, which makes her aware of surprise attacks or anybody trying to sneak up on you.
Mhm.
She has a 360-degree cone of vision and is basically aware of everything right now. You too can't detect anybody else than the 4 of you.
Okay. That in fact covers what I wanted to do. So it's a good thing that I already knew to do it last time.
Or for me, it's more the absence of something that makes it known that there is something. It's like someone is cut out of a picture. You
Did you-
notice that there's a hole there.
Yeah. Did you use mind or did you use something else? You used Titan sentences?
I think it's called yeah, indeed.
It's a life spell.
It's life.
Okay.
It's not mind. Yeah.
It's not mine. Can I go ahead and try mind to see if I can pick up on whatever's out there?
Yeah, sure. It's basically the same roll, Gnosis plus mind.
I have a mind 3, so it's Gnosis plus 3.
Yes.
Okay.
What if we find the mind goblin?
Well, shit, let's find out. don't know how I did this. Hold on. Message. I don't know how I'm doing this. Oh, maybe sure.
Give me a second. This is us just getting back into the saddle. You can go into the magic tab,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just click on the word mind.
Yeah.
Then you click on the word gnosis,
Yeah.
and then you hit the dice symbol beneath the character portrait.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there we go. That's
You reach out uh, in a similar way as Ellie did, and it's not. There's nothing. There is very much something.
but it's actively blocking me.
That is the idea you get at first.
At first.
And maybe it was you probing a little bit, or stepping a step too close, or anything like this. And then you feel a pull.
A pull?
A pull.
Okay.
And
It worked so well it pulled Brian away.
it's a very magical pull.
Well, but yeah,
Uh,
impressive.
and you're suddenly getting the feeling as if you were at the edge of a maelstrom, pulling you deep into the water,
Hmm.
and you actually have to fight to get out of there.
Okay.
I think Ellie notices this. Judy's eyes go wide, and the body goes stiff, and she's basically keeling over.
So I have a question.
Yes.
In terms of perspective, is this
Yes.
more like I sensed something was there, and when I tried to figure out what it was,
Yes.
it's pushing me back, or
It's pulling you
no,
in.
let me finish, please.
Oh, sorry.
Or it's so big and unknowable, I'm being drawn in its wake.
The letter.
Thank you.
Great. Beautiful.
Do we all notice that, or is it just
You are working on magical words on walls.
right?
I think I'm just gonna try and catch Judy if she's keeling over or anything like that. Like try to somewhat stabilize her. Like, you good?
No. I'm not good. That's
Mental, physical.
mental. We
Okay.
are okay. We are dipping our feet in shark infested waters, except the shark is a megalodon.
Nothing new under the sun, but thank you for repeating that.
Yep.
And just like squeeze her shoulders like in the most awkward way possible.
How do you want to pull yourself back, Judy?
Pull myself back, how?
Yeah, that's the question. How do you want to resist?
Oh, from the being pulled off in the thing's wake.
Yes.
Like, is it a physical pull or is it a mental pull?
It's a mental pull.
Okay, then I am going to anchor myself to everyone here mentally, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, this is a very sticky lollipop, and I did not expect it to be so sticky.
It's too cooperative.
Yes, this is what I'm actually fighting. It's not megalodon. It's a very sticky lollipop.
Maybe
just,
that's
just as scary a foe.
Yeah,
yeah, but maybe that's the mental image that is helping you.
maybe it is. Yeah, it's the sticky lollipop. Sorry, I can't go with you, giant monster, a knowable monster of eldritch horror. I am dealing with a very sticky lollipop. It promises to turn my mouth blue. It's called a vampire lollipop.
Wonderful. That's
Mhm.
just brilliant.
Mhm.
Okay. I think Ellie realizes that that Judy is trying to anchor herself with you.
Okay.
And it is a strange experience that the two of you now have. It's like you're standing in front of a very big fan, and the air is blowing into your face and against your arms, and trying to move you away from where you are. But it's less physically, bodily, it's more that your thoughts are being pulled away.
I don't like that, but I'm going to try to be like I don't know the English word, but literal translation from Dutch, like a wave breaker, like you have at the coast, so that it prevents big waves from rolling up to the shore,
Mhm.
and kind of break the wind from the fan,
Mhm.
and metaphorically position myself in front of Judy,
Mhm.
so that she's in my slipstream and can
Yeah.
calm down.
The metaphysical slipstream.
Yes. Wonderful. I think this works wonderfully, and you two each can roll me a resolve plus your noses.
Resolve.
Mhm.
2 and 2. Resolve and gnosis.
Where is my resolve?
That's a 0.
Well, let's see how Ipsy fares.
I can't find my resolve.
It is not in the magic tab. You need to go
It's under two.
to the attributes page.
Okay,
This is going great.
I don't see it anywhere.
It is your mental in the mental attributes. First is intelligence, then wits, then resolve.
I don't see my mental attributes.
Are you in the attributes tab of
I
your
am under the
character?
attributes tab. I have power, finesse, and resistance. And then I have a bunch of abilities. I know I have resolve. I remember taking resolve.
Try clicking the sleep icon. I think you might have accidentally tapped it if
Yep.
that's like your dream stats.
Yeah.
The
Uh,
what icon?
the-
The zzz with the moon.
Yeah,
There is a
there's-
moon with several Z's, yes.
There
Ah,
you
there we go.
go.
There
Your
we go.
resolve is
There you go.
4. You're way better than me at this.
Resolve and Gnosis.
In Gnosis, yes.
Okay, and then dice. And then that's.
It's more than
That's-
me.
That's one success.
Mhm.
You make your way back, but you feel that it drains your resources. And I think both of you lose 1 point of willpower.
Sure.
Fine.
But you're returning. Okay. Team Cypher is about to finish their restoration of the words on the wall. It's looking different. This might just be because it is now a few millimeters deeper into the wall than the words have been before, or that it wasn't the same hands doing the writing, but the words are back. Their literal meaning still completely undefinable, but you're pretty sure you did a good job.
I will return Brian's chalk to him.
I will gratefully accept, and then just step back a bit and then look at the runes on the wall and maybe look for things that I could have made mistakes at, or things that could be improved. Trying to find the connections and the patterns that have a tendency to call out to me.
There are more. To do this the right way, you need to comprehend everything. You need to align every single letter, and you, maybe it's Nancy that is pointing out to you that you've done well enough. It's looking good. Nancy, I think you can do the next step if you want to. Performing the gestures again.
Sure, let's give it a shot. What would you need me to roll?
I don't need you to roll this.
Glorious.
You just need to expend 1 point of mana.
I can do that. Probably. Where's my mana? Yeah. Mana spent.
Wonderful. And it's like the stone is drinking the energy that is coming from your hand. In front of your mind's eye, the words. The brush, the paintbrush reappears, and you can basically follow the motions as if you were drawing them with the paintbrush that you have seen during your awakening.
Okay. I will do so.
And you paint reality into existence. You paint the connection. You leave out the unnecessary barriers. You create connection. And after you've finished it, there's just the gentle feeling of passage in front of you. Your mind doesn't perceive the wall as a barrier anymore.
I'm gonna step forward and put my hands out.
Nancy disappears.
Do they hear me when I go, holy shit?
Yes.
Nancy? Where the
Right this
fuck
way.
did you go?
We're good.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm totally. What's it like inside this wall?
It's like the gray mist you have encountered during your awakening.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's foggy in here, but otherwise, I'm fine. I didn't fall or get, sucked into hell that I know of.
You know that's not very convincing, but when I look at the other two,
Let's
I-
follow them.
I don't think it's a good idea to split up anyway.
Do you just hear my voice coming out of the wall?
Yeah?
Wild.
Or is it more in our head, Tom?
No, you can hear her.
Like it's directional.
Yes.
Okay.
I try to follow after the sound.
Okay.
I'll go with the group, but also I will be back in a moment.
Yeah, sure.
I'll go with the group as well.
And you take the steps and you enter the mist. It is a 3-step walk. 1 step into the mist, 1 step through the mist, and 1 step out of the mist. And you are in a cave. A cave with a water basin in the middle of it. There are some low wooden benches placed around the basin. There are several exits, tunnels leading away from here. And most of the ground, as are the walls, is covered in moss.
This is not the cave we were in earlier.
This is a totally different cave.
What is it with this place and caves?
I mean, it's an underground cave network, so I suppose that makes sense, right?
Doesn't mean I have to like it.
No, you do not have to like it. In fact, I agree with your assessment. This is pretty terrible.
I am sorry. You find this place terrible.
Who said that?
Hello?
The voice is coming from one of the tunnels to your left side.
Do any of us recognize the voice?
No, that's a new one.
Well, hello? Why don't you show
Hello.
yourself?
Trying to assess the situation. if you're going to blast my head off within the next few seconds. So
Yeah, be careful. The doctor's armed with chalk. You'll be fine.
I will trust you on this and take it as a promise. And then a woman comes into the room. She is bare feet and wearing wide red robes. Although she has several strings of ivy, which are resting on her shoulders and might become a cape someday, not sure.
Oh, Ivy the plant.
Ivy the plant, yes.
Okay, I thought several IVs hanging out of her shoulders. So I was conjuring a much different image there.
Yeah. Okay. Her red robes remind you of the robes that the woman who defended the room prior were wearing.
But it's not the same woman.
It's not the same woman, no. I'm greeting you. Welcome.
Welcome to what exactly?
The Bulwark.
That
Bull-
clarifies nothing, but thank you.
Bulwark against what?
Basically everything. This is our fortress. And you just came through the gate.
Is the fortress still holding after what we've seen?
It is holding up to this line. And the only reason that we are not greeting you with force is that we hope you can enlighten us about what's going on outside.
We?
The Order. I assume you might not have heard of us. We are very, very private, so to say.
You know, shit.
But like, so you dwell down here? Like this is like your domicile?
Yes.
This is your normal spot? And Nancy starts slurring her speech a little bit again.
This is our normal spot. Yes. We stay away from the you're probably calling them the sleepers.
Oh. So are you the ones that put the whammy on this castle?
We put a lot of things upon this castle, and many of them have been destroyed and replaced. And so I am not quite sure about which you're talking right now.
We came to this place for a work thing and then we couldn't leave. And that was. Oh, shit.
Are you all right?
Nope. Sit down. Oh.
Our friend here postponed their drunkenness slash hangover and is now reaping the rewards of that. I will have to flush them out again.
Okay.
So just they're not here for a second. Just it'll be fine. It's just alcohol.
Is this water drinkable?
Uh, no, it's not.
Oh, it sucks. Like I'm like leaning over, like with my hands like cupped, like ready to grab.
Just gonna like pull Nancy away to like a corner, a safer place where she cannot touch anything that might be dangerous. Just push her down a little to get her to sit.
Take a bench, please.
Oh, there's benches.
There's benches, yes. Please sit.
Where am
Lie
I
down
taking
if you need
it?
I lead Nancy to one of the benches.
I'm gonna take a nap now.
Remind me
Well,
to flush her out again.
Your host turns towards Brian and Judy. Well, my name is Myra.
My name is Dr. Gilbert. Pleasure to meet you. I hope we could have met in more favorable circumstances, but
Dr. Gilbert. Good. And you are? She says hopefully towards Judy. Are you muted?
Judith Lee.
Great. Just to give me an idea of who I am talking to, how long is it for you that you can separate between the things that are real and that which aren't?
not a week.
Yeah, I think it's 2 days.
At max.
Yeah.
I mean, time is a bit different now, but approximately like 2
2 days.
days.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Meaning this is day 2.
And you can see a whole lot of hope flushing out of her face. And then it returns. So you're here for a work-related thing, and you can't leave anymore. And you are able to see since 2 days, which means you might not. This is good. And
Is it good? Could you explain that part?
give me a second.
Uh-huh.
And her eyes flare up, and she's looking at each single one of you, and it's for a brief moment, as if you were taking an exam, and then she returns to normal. Great, you are not compromised.
Compromised?
You are not the ones who are attacking us, right?
Oh no, it was horrible how they destroyed such beauty.
Attacking. Wait, what's attacking you?
The people who've come with you were laying
Mhm.
siege to us.
Probably
With-
the same evil people who locked us up.
Do you know
Probably.
anything about catatonic women in bathrooms?
Or
I've-
loyalty cards?
What?
Yeah, that's
No, I don't know anything about loyalty
What about
cards.
knitting?
Or what made me think schnapps was a good idea?
Can I, in the meanwhile, just flush Nancy out again, just like passively?
I need a warrior here. Please send someone.
Starting to flush the alcohol
By the
out
way,
of
do you know a
Nancy.
good family therapist? Just in
Okay,
case.
okay. Maybe you are compromised. Maybe you're here to drive me mad.
Can I give the woman my notebook in which I written all the details of what happens upon everything actually in the last 2 days? Maybe it will help her to realize what has been happening.
She picks up the book. And I think it was Nancy who did the fast reading trick.
Yes.
She basically does the same. And then she looks at you from a very different point of view and says, okay, everybody sit down. Please, we're gonna have a talk. I will answer some of your questions, starting with those which will bring you out of here. Okay?
No, I'm a fan out of here. I'll sit up. Oh, sat up too fast.
I grab Nancy and do the toxin flushing thing I've been doing for the past hour and a half now to her to get rid of the postponed drunkenness.
Thanks.
I sit down politely.
Good. Okay. This is what's going on right now. Your bosses came here with an army of Hylics.
What?
Yeah, what's that? Can you...
Sleepers, people who aren't aware.
Okay, yep, on board. That tracks.
And they use them to
Mhm.
break through our defenses and prevent us from taking measures against them.
Can we help in any way? Can we help in any way? So it doesn't happen.
Well, you are basically for mages. You can shift the balance in all directions. So, yes, you can help in many ways.
One of the directions get us out of here?
Well, the most direct would be to take their head, eliminate them, and rip the barrier apart from their anchor point.
Are you talking like physically murdering someone? Or do you mean like a metaphorical head, like the leader?
My sisters and brothers have died defending this place. I am talking about literal killing.
I need to sit with that one for a minute. I just need to sit with that one for a minute. Please continue.
Okay. We are, as far as I know, the only remaining bastion of our order. We call ourselves the Pancryptites. And it is still our goal to finally escape the prison. I don't know what you have been told about reality.
Nothing.
But this might make things easier to understand. There has been a time as living creatures were still entirely connected to the supernal world, how we call it nowadays. The simplified realm of magic. And then there was something that most people call the fall. We are living in the so-called fallen world, a world that is separated from the supernal realm by a place called the abyss. And we, as awakened, can see or reach across the abyss and use the language of the supernal realm to align the world that we are living in with the true reality. This is what most mages believe.
Mhm.
We are sure this is just half of the truth. Most people think the abyss is like, well, it's not really a place, it's not really a thing, it's an entire mess. And it is just there, and it is lingering within the unawakened souls, the sleepers or haliks. And the problem is that it isn't mindless, actually. It is there, and it has trapped us in this place. We are imprisoned. This entire world only exists to cage us in, to limit us, to separate us from the supernal realm. And my order tries to find perfection in the arcane crafts, to find a way to escape, to break down the walls. As you can see, we still carry our beliefs, but we are still here. My order acquired a lot of knowledge, a lot of power and treasures over the course of our time. We had some of the most magnificent minds and spellcrafters in our numbers in the past. But most of them have been swallowed up by one of these new orders. I'm not aware what they call themselves. They lost their way and their ideas. And so we are the last safe wardens for the gate that we have here.
So, was it the other orders that imprisoned you? Like, who imprisoned you and why?
The imprisonment of all magic workers has been done a long, long time ago by the Pancryptia. Who and what this is, even our order isn't of one opinion. And I think it would lead down another entire rabbit hole that I don't think would help you with anything. We as a group of people right now are imprisoned by our invaders. Before that, we chose to live remote because the Pancryptia is working through the Hylix is working through all of those who haven't had their awakening. It is a malign force trying to corrupt our magics.
You're saying that sleepers cause harm.
They do.
How?
Have you worked magic in front of a sleeper yet?
No, I want to know how they cause harm, regardless of magic. You
Uh,
want me to buy into the idea that anyone who can't do magic is inherently harmful?
in the way that there is something within them that corrupts our will working, yes.
Okay,
This-
but that sounds like it's a you problem.
This is a problem of everyone casting in front of a sleeper.
Okay, so don't do that.
And be horribly limited.
Yeah, that's fucking life, babes.
I don't like where this is going.
A balance should be able to be met. A world without the sleepers would be a bit useless.
The sleepers can have this world.
Yes. Like they
I
don't need
am-
to disappear. Like they're not doing anything wrong. We just need to do what we do in the safety and well thought out bastions that we have.
And
But of
one
course
day
we should,
leave.
and we will not weaponize them, nor should we victimize them.
I am not trying to tell you that these sleepers are the source of our problems. It's we are awakened to great things. And to reach our full potential, we need to leave. We need to break the walls. Like you do now.
Uh-huh. But again, I'm not getting from this how harming everyone who is not you or
I am not
being
sure.
in the brush that's not you is harmful is actually really a beneficial idea here in this.
I am not sure where you're getting the idea that I want to harm anyone.
But you just said the sleepers are harmful.
Just like alcohol is harmful to the body, but I think they just mean that we don't have to drink it then.
Okay.
It never was said that we like purge the sleepers.
Okay.
She nods in agreement.
Don't forget, we were just like them 2 days ago.
Yeah. I mean, you can understand my hesitation here. Hopefully.
Yes.
Was
Yes.
it not the attacking party that was using sleepers to
Well,
a
that sounds
harmful
like it's a
way?
them problem. Like that's not great either.
Oh, yeah, but they were burying them. Like, what was it that we saw a few floors above? The half alive, soul stolen. I think that was their work. No?
We had that vision, and that was traumatic once enough to see it, and I would like to not see it again. Thank you very much and goodbye.
Oh no, like I was stuck with a room with 4 people half buried.
Oh, great, that other thing that happened that was also traumatic.
Yes, but that was the attackers their work. So if we could help them repel those attackers.
No, what do we gain and how do we get out of here?
We gain that we can get out of here.
Do we
It-
though?
It is what the lady said.
Yes.
Like she does not want to keep us here. Well, regardless of what my companions decide, I will do anything I can to support, because if I could ask then after the job is done, if you could share some of the wisdom and the knowledge you've gathered, because I'm very eager to learn.
Oh, I know this all too well. And we have collected a lot of knowledge. Knowledge that our attackers are after. Okay. So we might not share philosophies, but we share goals. We want to get rid of our attackers, and you want to be free. We can offer some limited support in striking at the heart of the operation.
Why do you need us to do that? Why are you not able to strike against them?
They're surrounded by sleepers.
And that is going to make it easier for us, how?
It does make it more difficult for us to act.
So what I'm getting from this is you want us to like infiltrate the group, the sleepers, and get our bosses to fuck off?
This would be a preferable outcome, yes.
What do we get out of it?
Aside of obviously being able to go, as the good doctor already asked, you can get access to all the knowledge that we are hosting.
What I'm trying to get at is you're asking us to go up against our direct superiors to get them to leave. You're asking us to disrupt this retreat that they've put us on for some reason. And this could have sincere and severe consequences to us in our professional lives, in our sleeper lives.
You are
So,
already being used and instrumentalized.
yeah, I get that. That's capitalism. Nothing has changed in that context. What I'm asking you is what's the benefit of working for you over where's the balance here? What do we get out of you that we don't get out of them? Other than, oh, all this knowledge. Shit, it could be that all you have is one book that teaches us how to make peanut butter sandwiches, which I already know how to do. So I need something a little more concrete than go fuck your boss or set fire to the castle. What am I working with here?
I noticed you are under a very strange condition. All of you. And we might be able to rectify this.
Condition?
Might?
It's you awakened 2 days ago, 1 day ago, one night. So this is your second day, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The entire experience is life-changing.
Don't say.
Yes, but did you notice anything aside of that?
Besides the total turning upside down of our existences, no, I did not notice anything besides that. It's been at the forefront of my mind.
There's this fake creature that's been showing up every now and then, giving me some things. That's the whole loyalty card thing. I need to get back on that, pay my debts. But that can maybe wait until I can get out of here.
You feel may you feel like you belong
Belong to what?
here.
What do you mean with here? Like this
Like
place, this location, Mages as a community, the world?
maybe the world.
I
Are you
have never felt that to begin with, but I think that has more to do with my mental stability.
Interesting. Because you don't.
Like all of us or me specifically?
All four of you. You're not supposed to be.
Not supposed to be
not-
what?
And you can see that she's actually having difficulties to express it. I am not sure there are words for this, but the way you are doesn't fit.
On the one hand, you're not telling me anything new that I haven't heard my entire life. On the other hand, the fact that it comes from you and you say it in that way is very disturbing.
Um, give me a second. I'll be back in a moment. She stands up and goes into one of the tunnels.
Goodbye.
Do you wish to have a short conversation between the four of us? Four of you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say that like this all seems like an awful lot of risk that we're assuming for what? For some vague promises about helping.
This feels like magic ableism.
To
You're
me,
muted.
there are two factions fighting, one trying to conserve knowledge and keep the sleepers at peace, and one attacking, destroying knowledge, and murdering sleepers and taking their souls. It's
Yes,
not that difficult to choose between which one of the two I will support.
sure, but you know, we're not soldiers, we're not warriors, we're damn sure not cops.
Yeah,
Like,
no. Well,
We're stuck.
I
sure,
have an idea,
what's your idea?
but I need you all to trust me.
No, what's your idea?
Look. Come on. Look. There's a lot of conversation going on now and a lot of different opinions and different things. But I think the closest thing to having a trusted group for all of us is this. So I kind of want to cement that.
Here's
Told you I
the
don't have any more.
here's the
I
thing
can.
though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm fine with, if we provide them a distraction so that they can go do what they got to do or whatever, like that level of support, I'm totally fine with. That's totally fine. But like, I don't know that sticking our necks out for these people on a vague suggestion that they might be able to actually help us is the smartest move.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to make the trust between us a little bit more strong, a little bit more concrete, in a way that we can all rely on each other by also something else pushing us into this. I magic oath.
What?
And I was thinking of, we will not sabotage the others for our own personal gain. We will not actively try to harm the others to gain something for ourselves. And if that does happen, something happens to you.
Like something what? Like
Mm-hmm.
You
we
know, like the whole like
explode or our hair falls out or
the hair fall, that is a good one. It's more like, oh, I shall never betray you, or I shall be struck blind, and then you're blind.
Well, I mean, I'm absolutely happy to swear loyalty to all you, if it gets us out the door here or whatever, but I don't trust these people. Like, these are strangers with a wild agenda that we can't comprehend, asking us to commit, felonies, by the way, on the promise that maybe they're going to do something. Like, I think that I'm all for it, like cooperation. I'm all for, let's try to work with them, but I think in my mind, let's try to work with them is let's give them an opportunity to do their dirty work as opposed to us doing their dirty work for them. Especially if we're operating on a promise of, vague gestures to, we'll get you out of here and we'll give you knowledge. Like, that's, let us out of here when, I've read enough stories about Faustian bargains to know to look at the fine print. And there's an awful lot of stuff that is just sort of, I guess, blowing the breeze that is not, we're not even seeing the fine print, let alone can we check it? You know what I mean?
Doesn't seem that they even want us here. Like, they're being attacked and we want to leave. So, and I don't even ask that you do anything. Like, worst case scenario, you just sit back and see how it all runs out and hope that the barrier is gone and you can go home to the place where everything that we are has been erased.
I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me.
You're welcome. We're fighting for a reason.
But
Maybe that's what they meant with, we're not supposed to be here.
sure. So
Maybe we have been erased.
Well, I know at least two of us have. Well, no, now three of us have a personal stake out here.
Hmm?
Three of us have a personal stake here among the sleepers. Do we not?
Stake.
Wouldn't call my sister much of a stake, but
I mean,
Sure.
do you want to leave her to these people or abandon her to whatever? I understand things are tough between you, and you know if that's the relationship, that's the relationship. That's fine.
I have resorted to not thinking about it and dehumanizing her to protect myself. Next question?
I respect that. Okay. Not saying that you have to be best friends with your sister. What I'm trying to say is that she is someone who should ostensibly recognize you or remember you.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we have been erased in that context. And my boss is out there, and we might have just summoned Nancy's father here. So who knows how close he is to getting into this.
That is
And I
true
don't know.
and unfortunate.
I don't know about you, Brian. Do you have a dog? Do you like your coworkers? I don't know. You're something of a mystery to me here.
Me,
Is there any investment? Do you have any investment in the people here?
first, I like my students.
Mhm.
I like the people that rely on me, but
I
I
mean, the
don't
ones
even
here in the
really
castle.
work for this company.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just looking for answers and looking to better myself. Like, should I invest more into people? Like, I don't really get what this is going to.
It's less about whether or not you should invest in people and whether more about whether people are invested in you. Who's going to miss you if you're gone?
No one, I guess.
Okay, so there we go. Whatever we do next, we need to consider that there is a human cost to this. And if those losses are acceptable.
Well, and that's again my thing is I think that that human cost ought to be paid by our hosts. I think.
Sure. But how big is that backlash going to be?
Well, that's why I'm suggesting that we don't dirty our hands with it. We let them do their own dirty work. We offer to, you know, lend our aid in terms of providing a distraction, whatever, yada yada yada. But like, I'm not killing anybody,
No.
and uh, and it seems like if they believe that that is what's necessary to solve this problem, that then they should have the courage of their convictions to be able to do it themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not disputing that. My concern is more about mitigating the damage when that backlash occurs. Do you, I get that you don't love your sister or you've realized her. I'm not good with the hip social terms. But do you really want her to die for this?
I try not to think about those things.
All right.
Okay. Oops. You're looking as if you want to say something. Okay. Time seems to realize that you are close on pages to each other. And Moira returns. Whatever you've expected her to bring, It is just a handful of coins. And she sits down in front of you and says, I tried to show you. And then we go into bio break.
Awesome. All right, everybody stick around. We're going to be just taking a few moments here to address our biological and technological needs. If you're watching this live, just hang back. We'll be back momentarily. If you're watching this in VOD, just hit fast forward to see our pretty faces again, and there you'll be. See you soon. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Twitch.tv/The Onyx Path. We have returned from our biological and technological needs being addressed. I do want to remind you once again that if you've not yet picked it up, Exalted Exigence just dropped for 3rd edition over at Drive Thru RPG in POD and PDF. And if you head over to our link tree, you can check out not only our various social media outlets and links to the various stores where you can get our things both digitally and physically, but also the At the Gates backer kit, which is still active. We're only a week in, and we've already funded and unlocked several stretch goals. So please check that out if you haven't. Now that I have paid the bills, Tom, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So, we are returning to this wonderful under mountain cave with a water basin in the middle and the benches around it and the moss covered floor and walls. And our 4 mages and their new acquaintance, Moira, who is, of course, the good person in this room. Just to point this out. Yeah. Because we need to live in a world made of black and white. So clearly the victims here. Moria basically ended your conversation by reappearing, and she brought a handful of coins. She sat down on the bench and shows you one of them. This is the coin. It comes from the pile of coins in my hand. It is here. And I'm sorry, I am landing a little bit from street magician practices here, but if you would please check the coin that it is real. And she hands it out to whoever wants to pick it up.
I'll grab it and look it over if nobody else grabs
I
for
ain't
it
touching
first.
shit.
Okay. Hands it to Nancy.
And then once I'm done looking at it, I'll hand it to the doctor.
You can scrutinize it with Mage Sight. You can do whatever you want. It is basically a real coin. It is not pure silver, but it has a high degree of silver in it, and it is minted like 340-ish years ago.
Oh, wow.
Please, dear doctor, could you please mark this coin?
I take my chalk and I mark the coin.
She puts away the pile of coins and asks for the coin to come back to her. I will now put a spell on this coin. And she puts her hands around the coin, closes her eyes, and as she opens the hands again, there is the golden neck chain that Nancy and Brian just inspected as she told you to. And she shows it to you. And she puts it onto the tablet from which she took it earlier. And then she pulls out of her pocket the silver coin that Nancy and Brian inspected earlier.
You know, it's more impressive when you take it out of the ear, right?
Yes, but that's not the point.
Okay. Mm.
Please elaborate. What is exactly your point?
Which of these two items do you remember?
Is there any reason I don't remember both?
I only
It-
remember a coin.
And this sounds right. You remembering the gold necklace doesn't make sense.
There was no gold necklace,
There was.
but not for us.
It was.
Did I sense any magic being used that was in my field of expertise, either fate or time?
Yes.
Okay.
Time.
Time.
Oh,
You can still feel this.
would
Yes.
I have noticed that as well then?
Yes.
Uh,
And especially as you now going into that direction, feeling into the lingering reverberance of time, you can feel the last tremors of an earthquake. She used an incredibly powerful spell.
It's like you fucked with time.
Yes. Both of these happened. I just cut one of them away.
Once again, your point being,
You are the gold necklace.
you're being cut away from being remembered by time magic.
At least you have a very similar signature to the necklace. I don't know necessarily what all the effects are, but this happened some time ago, not just yesterday.
Further back,
Further
before
back.
we awakened.
Yes.
okay, can you fix it?
I think I can anchor you at least again. I can make that this necklace will be there in the future as well.
Okay. So you just need us to kill some people for you to do that.
And she looks at your face. What can she read from your faces?
Nancy is suspicious and frustrated, and Travis is stepping away for just a moment because someone I ordered something from can't follow directions. So I'll be back in a minute.
Open skepticism,
Mm-hmm.
doubt. We are pressing X to doubt.
Brian?
I am trying to learn. I think probably like a look of expectation and of patience.
Well, if you want, look, you know time magic. Clearly. Clearly you do, and way better than me and Nancy combined do. I don't know if that also means you can do fate magic. That you're one of us, or that you just picked time up somewhere that's even possible.
It is.
Well, see, most of us here are pretty skeptical about all of this. I think it's logical that we are. I think it's not uncalled for. I have done this trick without consent, and I have learned from it that apparently people can feel it, so this time I ask consent for it.
Mm-hmm. What do you want to do?
I forgot exactly what it was, but I want to know basically the spell that tells me if someone is good or bad for my future.
Hmm. Was it
Um,
serendipity?
Yes, I think it was serendipity, which is a fate spell. Yes, it's a fate one spell.
Okay, I need to.
Wait, is it?
So what do you tell Moira what you want to do?
Can I just you know how you sometimes have a gut feeling about something? You just
Mm-hmm.
can't let it go? Allow me to try and fine tune that gut feeling to see if either I am misattuned or I am right. Nothing will, you will not be harmed mentally or physically.
I mean, within our realms, this can be many, many things still. But if this helps you, I am speaking of my intentions clearly, so I am not afraid for you to check them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, da, 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 da. I am looking at serendipity right now.
I also have choose threads, which is time 2, which is glimpsing the many potential futures of our subject. The mage selects the optimal course, which could also fulfill the role of me checking my gut instincts.
Um,
I knew I had a spell like that because I used it on someone before.
yeah, yeah. We can basically, I think, go with the time spell in this.
Okay, so that would be choose a thread, glimpsing the many potential futures of a subject. The mage selects the optimal course. The subject's player rolls twice for her next mundane dice roll, and dice roll takes effect. I just want like the narrative effect of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's strange I cannot. Oh no, the one I wanted to mention was Momentary Flux, which is next to choose a thread on the left side, which is a time 1 spell. The mage can sense whether a subject will prove beneficial or baneful in the most likely future.
Okay. Okay.
Got him.
Got them. There we are. It is not withstood, which is great. Yeah, let's just go with Gnosis and your time rating.
Okay. And there's no way to buy automatic successes in this game with
No,
willpower.
sadly there isn't.
Wow.
You can spend 1 willpower to gain 3 additional dice.
I think this might be important enough for that. 3, you said?
3.
That almost, yeah, I'm gonna do that. That almost doubles my dice pool. So that's 4 for my general pool, and then in total 7. 2. Glad I spent the willpower.
Yeah. So how does it look as you cast this spell?
To not have to extend reach, but only like tap into the 1 dot to like have it done in 6 seconds, to not have this take 6 hours.
Yeah.
I come close to Moira, but like the way you would approach a cat that you don't know, you don't want it to jump away. You want it to be known that you're not a threat. And I get close to her and I put both of my hands softly over her shoulders and I stare at her forehead because I know that if you stare at people's foreheads instead of their eyes, it makes them uncomfortable. It's how I alert eye contact with people.
And you feel these strands of fate gliding beneath your hands, and you start hearing her inner voice, not in words, but in tones. And there are some melodies below that sound threatening, dangerous. The most clear tones are a solid. They carry far. And you don't think that she would fall back on her words. She is not necessarily a threat.
Okay. Great, more gray areas. Thanks. I take my hands back from her shoulders and I look her in the eyes again. And I just say nothing. Just stare just a little to let the information sink in.
I took the time to overthink my rush suggestion. I shouldn't have asked you for what I did. How do you think you can help?
So we can keep the sleepers occupied. If there's one thing I know how to do, it's draw attention to myself. So my proposal would be we get the sleepers together, get them out of your way, and you and your people go do what you and your people have to do. Then you let us walk and the doctor read your library, I guess.
Yeah, this sounds good. Maybe I can add that you might provide some information to us.
Oh, happy
Because-
to. Anything we know is. I don't suppose you can just reach in there and pluck it out, can you?
Yeah.
Yeah? That'd be great.
That would be very great, wouldn't it? But and she looks at Judy and maybe thinks better of it. Or you can just maybe tell a little bit. Maybe you know how many will workers do they have?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. I only know of. I strongly suspect one, and I know of one. I would expect, given the stuff that we've been able to do, and given what they have done up there, there's probably a lot more than that.
If you occupy the sleepers and maybe find it within your abilities to draw out one or two of the other mages, we need to know how many we have to handle.
How many mages do we know already? I turn to the group.
Well, there was a girl that actually like straight up confronted us in the room.
Holly.
Ollie, right? And that's, correct me if I'm wrong, that's not Judith's ex.
No, that's Sadie.
Absolutely isn't.
Right. I thought, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, I thought we had some suspicions that she might be awakened as well.
We don't know.
Right, but I thought we had there was the one, she was the one I was referring to, and I said I think this one might be too. Like didn't we have some reasons to believe that she might be, or at least aware of what's going on with that?
Judith doesn't know. That's why she sent her to go investigate the catatonic bitch in the bathroom.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so that's why we don't know.
Yeah,
we actually did not follow up on that.
So we know one. We know one for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And we might have set the other one into danger.
I know my teacher is also a mage.
Your teacher.
I'll kind of look over at the doctor real slow like.
The comedic timing of both the time mates is in sync.
Capel, if I'm not mistaken. He's the one that's been instructing me how to behave and conduct myself in the matters of the newfound powers.
And what exactly did he teach you?
Do not draw too much attention to the sleepers, to keep as much as you can to yourself, to learn, to know that the greatest part of this all is believing in yourself. And that you need to get power where you can get power. And that you need support. You cannot do this on your own. That is the main point that I've learned from him. A bit opportunistic, but
A bit?
I take one step away from the doctor.
I mean, mm, you have to be very, very careful with these people. The way they attack us, the way they have prepared this operation, that's not the first time they've done this. It's not the first time they've done it like this.
Do you know of other times that they've done it like this? Like, how much do you know about their MO? How much of that information can we draw from to understand or possibly manipulate these people?
We live very secluded. We didn't have much contact. But the way they are behaving is telling us a lot. First step was basically to secure the area. They came in. They got rid of our lookout and guard. And then they set up the barriers. They distracted us with a creature they let loose in front of our front door. And as we were handling that, they rolled in the sleepers. And since then, they have been knocking on our doors. And if needs be, they take sleepers down here and use their soul to increase their might and rip through our defenses to shred far more knowledgeable and experienced mages into shreds.
Wait, so if they're coming here, then why don't we just set like booby traps?
Because at this rate, we are losing.
Sure, but you just got an influx of fresh blood. At least two of us can look ahead and see what they're going to be, what their approach is going to be, so we can maybe contend with it. I don't know if there's maybe a way we can knock out the sleepers that show up so that they don't get in the way of magic, or
I know we can just make it less intuitively probable for sleepers to wander in here or wander certain places. We have ways of.
Yeah, but I don't think the sleepers are wandering in. I think they're being
They-
brought as a cover.
Mm, I'm not very good with direct action.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if we just set up some traps for them, you know.
This means more bloodshed. We have to go through every single one they are throwing at us.
Does it though? Can we set it up so that?
I
don't-
suspect the operator isn't coming in themselves.
No, but even better, because then if we get somebody that we can grab, we can find out who they're working with.
The way she is looking at this place tells you that the idea is hurting her.
I'm not saying we let them in. I'm saying we get them before they get in here.
Is there a way to evacuate?
From here,
No, the castle.
there would have been until they laid siege to us. That's the entire reason.
No, I mean the sleepers. Like if we set the fire alarms off.
I suspect that no.
No. I didn't think so. Could we call OSHA?
Who?
Yes. Just Ellie chokes on her own spit.
The Occupational Safety and Health Administration.
I don't I
Well-
don't think any instances like that are going to help us right now.
What if we got the fire marshal involved?
Still barrier.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like if we were able to somehow overwhelm, they're using sleepers against us, you, and making it impossible for you to do your magic, right? So what if we just start overwhelming them too? More.
Wait, and somehow I am the one accused for.
No, it's, we would get NYPD to shut down the party, but there's no NYPD here. If we can get outside forces to force their hand and make them leave.
But that would require us communicating with the outside. I mean, here's the thing. I think if you can get us outside, I think there are a lot of things we could leverage to
Right.
get inside.
We could call the leverage people.
Wasn't exactly what I had in mind, though.
No, but that's my
Not that I
my
would
thought.
turn down getting saved by Christian Kane. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Okay,
But the idea would be, we were already able to reach your father once using our limited resources.
Right. Who,
Right.
might I add, might very well be outside banging on the gate right now. We don't know.
Right. But if we could, now we have more people and more resources. Maybe we could make that call and reach out to somebody like the local police or whatever the FBI is here, Interpol, German mountain cops. That I don't know. I actually don't know what the name of the ship
The-
is called.
you do have
Mountain
contacts outside.
Coppens. I don't speak German.
I also had contact from the outside, my old university friends. We suddenly did have signal, and we figured
Right.
out that us not having mobile signal and a reach to the outside world was basically due to magical interference.
Right. So what we're having problems is we can't pop the bubble from the inside, but maybe we can have the bubble get crushed from outside forces. If there's a magical interference from the sleepers that they have brought in who are buying into whatever it is they're doing, could we not overload the circuit that way? If you get where I'm coming from?
I
If they use it,
think
if they use it against you, why not use it against them
Yes.
without the killing?
Yeah.
Possible, if possible.
this is not Mora, this is the storyteller
Oh
speaking. There is a
no!
high risk of bad things happening if you
Oh
get
no!
more sleepers involved. So just to level the field a little bit, I am open to you laying a trap here. That's totally on the table. Just because Moira is not happy with that, it's not off the table. It is also very cool to use the resources of the order to reach outside. We can also do that.
Yeah.
If you want to go do some spycraft on the upside forces, that's also fine. So all
But
all options are here. You just have to pick an idea and then we will roll with it. Yes?
yeah, it's fine. The reason I'm asking is because while Ipsy is aware of the consequences of involving more people, Judith is not.
Yeah, I mean, and my thoughts on it are there's never a bad time for some Kevin McAllister esque tomfoolery. I would love nothing more than to watch the people responsible for ruining our getaway stumble down a cavern and fall on their ass on some marbles that we have laid out, whether literally or metaphorically speaking. Um, you know, so that would probably be my preference because then we can control the battlefield. If they're coming to us, we have control over the environment.
Yeah.
What's Ren's stance? Ren's stance.
Ren's stance is very, very, very stupid, and turn them all the sleepers into sleepwalkers, because then there are no sleepers anymore. But the doctor's stance is mostly supporting whatever Moira desires, and if it's going to be booby trapping the hell out of these caverns, then I will do all I can in my prime to help so. I'm here to learn, not to bring new ideas.
Okay. Back into the scene. So I think maybe your condition is helpful actually to break through. If you were already able to make contact on your own, this is an impressive feat. And we can supply you with more resources and under certain rules, the gate to increase your reach. We could also pick a few of them in preparation by setting up a trap in the in the scripture room. As much as it hurts me.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but like they still need to penetrate your exterior defenses, right?
Yes.
So what I'm saying is, why don't we figure out where they're going to strike? Three of us clearly can manipulate time.
Mm-hmm.
So we figure out where they're going to strike. We never let them inside this place. That's not, I wasn't suggesting we open the door. I'm just suggesting we know where they're going. We know where they're going to try to access. So we get them there.
Yeah.
And I figure that's an environment we can control. And that's also an environment where we can, I don't know, I'm sure one of us can wiggle our nose and make whatever sleepers they bring with them fall, like literally asleep, right? Like that's in one of our wheelhouses. Please tell me.
She shoots a glance at Judy once again.
I can try to reach out to everyone here mentally, but it's just me, that as far as I'm aware, that can do that. I can sort of try and push people away.
I mean, that would be
And-
fine too if we can give the place spooky vibes. Do whatever we can do to, you know, make the sleepers that they bring down, whatever cannon fodder they bring down, either turn tail and run, or you know, crash out, or otherwise take them off the board so that we can then act more freely while we're trapping whoever had come down here, and then we can interrogate them and get, you know, more answers.
I also know that me and Nancy have ways of, if slash when they come down here, to hinder them greatly, but not always have them know. Like, it just, you know, when there's just a day where everything goes wrong and nothing seems to go the way it should.
We had 2 of those days. Actually, a few more. Yes. Yes, we know how this feels.
Yeah, well, me and Nancy can make that happen to other people.
Yeah, we can manufacture a really 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 bad day.
A really, really, really bad day. Like,
Brilliant. Okay. So we
I have some knowledge of warding and the placing of secret doors and space manipulation
this
to
way
make
we
sure
could
that people mess up a bit.
yes. So we can prepare a place to acquire people with more information. And if you want to, I am sure we can set in place ways for you to reach out. This sounds like a plan to me. Do we have an agreement?
Yes.
I would say so.
yes.
Good.
Doctor?
All for knowledge. All for knowledge.
And her eyes linger for a second on the good doctor. And it seems she is knowing all too well what you're talking about. And is afraid that things might be too late for you. But this is not spoken out loud. Great. How do we proceed?
I look at Nancy.
Yes.
Think some temporal scouting on what to do might be a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see how strange we can get with it.
Either we reinforce each other, which would be me reinforcing you, or we both do it separately, focusing on two different aspects.
Can you provide us and I'll turn to our host. Can you provide us with the locations of all the means of egress to this place?
Aside of this one, there's only a second one. I can
So
sure.
what you're telling me is we only have 2 bottlenecks we need to worry about?
Right now, yes. As soon as this place falls, we have many problems. And she is pointing towards the several tunnels leading away from this cave.
Right, sure, but they can't get in through those ways. So if we've only got to cover 2 things, I think we should just split up. You look at the first tunnel, I'll look at the second tunnel. We'll scrub the future and see what it holds, and then prepare accordingly. If that works for you, Ellie.
Yeah.
Okay. I can show you around.
I'll do the back door, the one we haven't seen.
Mm-hmm. Brian and Judy, who do you want to stay with?
You're mute,
Uh,
Ren.
I'm going to the main passageway and put up some wards. And with Ground Eater, I'm going to make sure that everybody except us that walks through there actually has to walk way longer than they actually should to go down that hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Like bottomlessly long, and then like bend a bit with other space attributes and prime.
Mm-hmm.
To just make sure that the way leads away from actually the secret door to the passage that they should have.
Do I still have my 360 vision up and running?
By rules, no, but well, we've come so far in this episode, so if you still want to have 360-degree vision, sure.
Well, the answer to that really sort of, if it does, then I want to stay and watch the entryway because I'm a good sentinel right now, basically.
Mhm.
If not, I kind of want to follow after. I want to stick with Nancy, we'll say,
Mhm.
to make sure that she's relatively safe because also she is my connection out of here.
Oh, also sober might be important.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, I think I need another hit of.
Yeah, do I need to flush you out another time?
Just remind me never to do this when I've got plans ever again.
Can I?
We kind of had plans, but I thought you were smart enough, but fine, sure. And I do the box
Can I
in
make
flush again.
Can I make a suggestion instead?
Sure.
Sure.
Instead of just sort of kicking the can down the road, as it were, could we perhaps make her go through all the stages of drunkenness in 5 minutes?
Oh God, we
I
probably
don't
can.
want her liver to
The
explode.
cumulative hangover.
Oh.
Maybe we can do that after the divination
No,
thing.
let's just do it now and get it out of the way.
Because otherwise, it's the problem that's going to keep coming up.
And the last thing we need is we're in the middle of like a situation where I have to be precise, and then all of a sudden I'm drunk again.
Yeah.
The thing is, drunken divination went very well last time.
It
So
did.
always drink and divine.
Drink the divine.
I got it. All right, I got it. All right, here's what we'll do. We'll take the entire boozing effect, compress it into 5 minutes. I will use those 5 minutes to look at the future.
You sure you don't want to flush?
I thought I had other plans for the last few minutes of the show, but no, I have new plans.
No, you don't.
no. I don't
Okay,
like it
let's
when
do
Tom
this.
I don't like it when Tom has new plans. I don't like it.
I love giving Tom ideas.
Yeah, let's
You masochist.
let's give it a shot. Rack them up.
I prefer the
Okay.
term dynamic, but okay.
Give us that life spell.
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the one with life.
Yes, I am the one with life. Spaghetti, spaghetti, I do a regretti. Cleanse the body, life 1. Mage can use this spell to help the subject's body fight the effects of any toxin, alcohol is a toxin, in her system, or even purge them completely. Its magic allows her a bonus equal to that's mechanical, allows her a bonus equal to potency to her next roll to resist the toxin's effects.
Sounds great. It's not that necessarily the 100% effect that we are looking for, but it is similar enough that we can say, yeah, that's probably in the same line. So I already feel mage fans all across the globe trying to kill me. Okay. Please do the life plus Gnosis roll. And I need to know how this looks like and what you do to increase the rate of success.
I'm going to start humming, which is one of my thingamajigs that's helped me concentrating. I'm going to put my amulet on her forehead because we all know something that's cool here just helps you ground a little more. It also looks stupid, which is funny, and laughing detracts from all the pain that you're gonna feel from the hangover. And I'm just gonna put my hands like, stop me if I'm not allowed to do this, with like in like your shirt or something, like just on your like under your shirt to touch your skin. And I'm trying to basically make you start sweating out the alcohol.
So what I would like to do as part of this as well is effectively the exact opposite of the spell I did 4 sessions ago or whenever it was. So I'm trying to not only stop that time effect, but bring all of the future booziness to this moment.
Sounds amazing. How do I butcher the system this time? I think both of you are doing your check for either time or life plus Gnosis, and we just add your successes.
Great. I have 3 dice to roll, and I'm not going to spend willpower on this. Sorry, Nancy. Not worth it.
I'm going to spend willpower on this.
That is 2 successes.
Wow. Already looking great.
And willpower is +3, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Did that
It's
roll?
3 in total. Yeah, it did it. It's 3 in total. You rolled 1.
You,
Excellent.
Nancy, feel all the dizziness and the other impressions concentrate. You can feel how even sitting down, you can't rely on anything within your body anymore. If you were just to move a single finger, you probably kick your own nose right now. And this is just a fever dream of central input, and this is the space which you're gonna cast your time spell. I will grant you 4 additional dice for this.
Okay, excellent. So it'd be my Gnosis time and plus 4 dice.
Yes.
All right. Can I spend willpower on this check?
Do you think you get your mind together to really want to do this?
Oh yeah, I mean, if I'm suffering through this now, like this is one of those defining moments, I think, right? I feel like I'm at that level of desperation that I think anybody who perhaps has drank to excess might be at, where you're pleading with the divine and you're, swearing that you'll never do this again. And when you hit that level of desperation, you would do literally anything to make it end. To my mind, this is the literally anything I need to do.
Spend your willpower point.
Excellent. So then I'm looking at time gnosis plus 6, 7, right? It was plus 4 you gave me?
Yes, it's +7.
Good Lord. Watch me botch. Nope, that would be an exceptional success.
Goodbye, Nancy. Hello, Nancy. You feel it. You feel the cold top of the watchtower beneath your feet. It is there. Everything else is missing. You're not on the highest mountain in reality. The endless floors and stories of the tower are also not here. There's also no book. But you feel the watchtower beneath you. And you're sitting in a place of power. And you feel something that you can only call the core close by. And it's just a slight gesture with the fingertips to command it to feed your spell, to become the colors of your array of paintbrushes. And you start painting. You start painting the entire scene. And every time something is changing, you just put a new layer of paint on top of the old one. And you see them. You see them coming. Again, 2 of them. And they bring sleepers with bags over the head. And you see them taking positions in the room of sigils, and how they are going to break through the barrier. What else do you see?
What are those bags made of?
They are to a high degree of polyester.
And are these do they have them bagged up until they get down there and then they remove the bags, or are they keeping the bags on them for like security in case they need to reveal somebody else as a mage?
They keep the bags over their heads as to probably prevent them from seeing what's happening.
What
You
if
see that?
what if we say, for example, polyester is not biodegradable, I don't think.
It is
Um,
flammable.
Yeah, but I don't want to hurt the sleepers. Because I'm trying to think of ways that we could like remove the bags from their heads while the other people are doing their magic, so that way they deal with the paradox and the problem solves itself for us.
So the thing is, basically, you just tell me how you want to do it. You can reach the same effect with many different arcana. You could use matter to erode them. You could use time to erode them. You could use fate to make the knot slip open and a tear appearing and getting it off their heads. You could use space to basically teleport them away. You could use mind to enhance their not the bags but the witnesses beneath them, to give them additional ways to perceive. You could use death to bring death to these bags, basically. You could use actually, I don't know how Prime would work here. But I am sure there's a way to use forces, the power of the elements, to manipulate this stuff.
Oh.
Oh, wait, I can see a way how to use Prime, because it's also the power of truth. You can make them true-seeing. There are many ways to circumvent these bags.
So what?
Polyester is an oil byproduct. Oil is made from dead dinosaurs. I have a way to make this life magic. No, I'm kidding.
This is Mage. It is here to facilitate your dreams and to
Travis?
break the rules.
Travis?
Oh, what if we? No, I suppose that'd probably be like super vulgar. I was gonna say we could
we-
rewind the time on the bags until it turns into oil, so the oil just pours off their heads.
I mean, many of these effects are very open and probably will lead to a paradox roll on your end too.
Sure. That's all right.
But
though.
we are theorizing right now and not playing.
Yeah, you know what? I will, if I could, I would like to bring that question to the rest of the group and say, like, here's what's up. People are going to be coming down there and be bagged, theoretically, so that they can pull the bags off to use them to either erode the magic here or as defense in case someone targets them with magic. So between us, we need to figure out ways to circumvent that.
Could I put them to sleep?
I don't see why not.
So, I wasn't sure at who was the question was directed. Was it me or Travis?
Just yeah, you, Tom.
Okay, yes, you can put people to sleep.
I mean, would that help if I put them to sleep?
It would take them away from being able to weaponize them. I was thinking ways that we could turn their weapons against them, but honestly, maybe just taking them out of the equation is the best way to do it.
Right. We can try that next time.
Let's give it a shot. And then we can. How many of the mages came down to the place?
First time or the last, as you saw the destruction of the inscription room, it was 3. Now it is 2.
Okay, so we're gonna have 2 hostiles that we're gonna have to take out one way or another.
Maybe the other one is trying to go through the entrance that I would like to divine. Could be.
Probably. One thing I'm gonna say now, and we will all maybe remember or forget next time, but this is as extreme success. So, if we need anything to be established next time, we can time magic that into this scene. So if
Okay.
you need any advantage that Nancy could have seen in her vision, we can implement that.
Yeah, because
then.
I'm kind of expecting that what she's doing is very similar to like what Doctor Strange did in Infinity War. Like I'm looking at all the different possibilities, and then probably I would imagine turning rapidly away uh, from the water that has been, I was told, was very sacred and I shouldn't mess up, and like yakking behind a bench, probably in all the colors that I painted.
Probably, yes. You feel the vision slowly fading. There's something coming into your view. Something is intruding. You're looking through a window of an airplane from the outside. You're just leaving the clouds above you. There is an airport not too far away. You can see. And as you look into the airplane, you can see seated between an elderly woman and a guy in business clothing, your dad sitting. And in the distance are looming the mountains, waiting for him.
Shit, I think my dad's here or going to be soon.
And this is almost the end. A completely different place. It is night. It is an industrial zone. It has rained not too long ago. And we have difficulties to follow Judy.
Mhm.
She is navigating with determination through a maze of boxes and cargo caches, and then soon machinery and doors and corridors and badly lit places. And this space doesn't make sense. This layout isn't really made for humans to operate, to work here. This is a trap. A well-crafted trap. Judy is walking down walking down the corridors and opening doors, and she holds firmly in her hand the hammer. And it is vibrating. And then she opens the last door. The room is empty. There's just one of these lamps that's hanging from the ceiling with these dark greenish I'm forgetting the word in the last second. How is this possible? Shade. The dark green shade. And in the center of the sparse light, it is giving sits a man. He has several knives on his person. His jeans are torn, his t-shirt so too. And we can see that he made marks with the knife in his clothing as if to keep track of something. Judy gets close to him and says, "Finally, I hereby deliver your sentence." And this is the end.
What did we
Thank you
say about
all.
ending about cliffhangers?
It's a cliffhammer.
A cliffhanger. Nice. But that was
Yeah,
awesome.
thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. It was a super fun time.
Let's make our extroductions quick and go in reverse order. So, I think we ended with Josie, so we're gonna start with Josie.
Hi,
Uh,
Josie. They, them. I do voice acting that I'm going to put the link for in the chat. After I'm fully recovered from bronchitis, I'm getting back on recording, which means that episode 13 is coming sooner rather than later, because apparently some of these people here have been listening to it. So yeah, update on that. Help. Stage fright initiated. For the rest, once again, we have left with more questions and answers. I both feel very grateful and very happy with that, but also, god dang it, Tom. God dang it. Gosh diddly darn dang it.
I don't have that many beans. I can't spill them all. Thank you so much. I think the next one is Ren.
Hi, I'm Ren. I was playing Dr. Brian Gilbert, someone who is pushing the boundaries of what is the right price to pay for knowledge. Maybe we will see it next episode.
Maybe we will see.
But once again, thanks to an amazing storyteller, I have survived another session.
This is true. This is true. Thank you so much. Ipsy.
That's me. I was Judith Lee, the judge, Judy, and executioner. Looking forward to next week or next session, whenever that is. I don't know.
It's in 2 weeks,
In
hopefully.
2 weeks.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much. And Travis.
I'm Travis, pronouns are he, they. When I'm not playing games or running them, I'm writing them. And I do want to remind you before we run off that Exalted Exigence just dropped on Drive-Thru RPG. I've thrown the link to that in the chat. And definitely head over to the link tree, check out our various socials, but especially right up top, you will see the link for At the Gates. Currently crowdfunding on BackerKit. Go give it a look, throw some money at it, get you the manuscript, and see what it's all about. Thank you for the excellent game, Tom.
Thank you for playing. Yeah, I am Tom. Pronouns he, him. I'm forgetting them always, so they are not that important. And I did something very interesting, apparently. We sent Modern Vaesen to the Annies, and we will see if
Wow.
we will be considered to end up in voting. So probably not, but we did it, and therefore we put a few of our things on sale, especially Modern Vaesen. The thing how the sale works, I have to send people links, and I put them in my socials all over the place. So if you want to look for them, they are findable there. Yeah, that's one thing I'm doing. And another thing, I do have one spot left open for a game of Dragonbane tomorrow evening. If you're watching this live, we're gonna do the quick starter, and I had 2 sessions of Dragonbane yet, and they were both very fun, and I'm looking forward to doing that. So yeah. This is also in Spaces on my start playing games profile. You can find that. So yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you for joining us again, and see you next time to the penultimate episode of Point of No Retreat. So bye.
See ya. Thanks, everybody.